And it's time for the Concord Food Co-op. Greg back in the house, and how are you?
Great.
You're not like 12 layers deep in clothes like we are.
Oh no. Your studio's always warm.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So prepare for that.
And you brought your posse with you.
Well, I know we had for New Year's resolution to do a show together. So Leslie and I are doing a show together.
Wow.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ta-da.
Knock that off the list.
There we go.
Accomplished.
All right, there we go.
Get it off
We're
early
done
in
on
the
the
year.
17th.
Yeah.
That's
You
perfect.
will never hear Leslie again after today.
Oh, heck no. Heck no.
No. So what are you talking about today?
Go ahead. What are we talking about today?
Talking about our liver.
Wait a minute, who are you? You're not Leslie and you're not Greg.
Peter, you don't know me by now.
Well,
I
they
know.
don't.
The studio.
My name is Sara
There we go.
Woods Kender,
Speak right up.
Sacred Tree Herbals,
That's what I want to hear.
48 Main Street.
Downtown Meredith.
I'm a clinical herbalist and Reiki master, and I'm talking about liver today. Your liver.
Can
Specifically.
not my liver's fine.
All right.
Can Reiki impact liver?
Reiki impacts everything.
Does
Right.
it? But I mean, if you have a bad liver, can Reiki do something
What do you mean by bad liver? Like it was
as opposed
misbehaving?
to? Yeah. You know.
Naughty liver.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you have good liver, I would think, bad liver, and we immediately think of alcohol impacting it. But what else impacts your liver?
Environmental toxins, medications.
Oh, really?
All tight. I mean, it's one of those miracle organs that kind of doesn't it take toxins out of everything for the whole body?
The liver has over 500 jobs, major jobs.
Yeah.
It is in charge of filtering our blood
Yeah.
and removing toxins, and the toxins that it can't remove, it makes them water soluble and sends it off to the kidneys to deal with. So
Passing the buck.
So we're taking
that's okay.
right, and that's
So liver's like middle management
Yeah,
or
really.
something like
Yeah.
that.
the liver is actually more than middle management.
It's frontline. It's a
delegating.
frontline organ.
It is a delegating
Executive.
organ.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Peter, last week you kind of mocked me for doing a little research on some of the natural ways that you can cleanse your liver, but today we're going to hopefully find out on what some of those are.
Yeah, and so the idea about detoxing the liver is kind of a misnomer, and a lot of people want to detox these organs, but in reality, the liver does a really good job just on its own.
of doing it on a daily basis.
You don't have to cleanse it because it's cleansing it, but what we do with, with certain things, lifestyle changes, food,
Right.
herbs,
Absolutely.
is
Intake. Yeah.
supporting the organ to do the job that it does really, really well.
Okay.
So number one would be sleep. Your liver does its job at night.
Wow.
Now,
So-
See, that's
why
good.
would that be that it's time sensitive for doing its job?
Because that's when you're not taking in other things for it to deal with. So it's more like a reset or a defrag kind of situation. Your computer can't do it when you're using it necessarily.
Right.
At least the
when
older
you keep putting
computers
stuff
now.
in the
I'm
inbox,
dating
you'll never
myself now.
empty the
Makes sense.
inbox. Yeah.
So that's when you're resting and when you're in a good sleep state, your liver is going to do its job by cleansing the blood.
So you're saying deeper sleep helps as opposed to sleeping on top?
Sleep helps.
Okay,
So
just
sleep
sleep.
I
itself.
can't really
We're not
speak
quantifying
to.
that.
I can't
know,
quantify that. I don't
know.
know.
But that is a reality of our lives today is lack of sleep.
Right.
You
and,
know?
and stress is a huge component to that.
Sure it is.
So when I'm, in consult with somebody or if somebody comes in with an issue, I'm looking at energetic patterns. And first and foremost, as an herbalist, we want to deal with the nervous system because that's the stress response, right?
Okay.
But then I go to liver and major detox organs, which is the liver and the kidneys and the skin and the lungs. We're looking at all these major organs. So, but liver is
Now, what's a
pretty important.
What's a bad diet do to a liver? Now I know bad diet, gallbladder, bad. I get it, but what's it do to the liver? I just assume I associate liver and drinking, but
Well, there's so
greasy
many
food.
there's so
high
many
fat.
layers to this.
Okay.
It's crazy. So
Yeah.
what we can really point to is what the liver has to do is cleanse the blood. So if things are getting in the blood that either shouldn't be in the blood, or you're inundated with things in the blood that the liver has to deal with, that's toxic load. So it depends on your toxic load. What's your environmental contamination like? What's the food like? What are you eating? Organic, not organic? Do you live downstream of a plant that a factory that has dirty air? We are all breathing more or less dirty air.
Right.
And in ingestion, those are huge things in terms of what the body has to deal with for cleansing the blood. So we kind of assess all that and see what is transpiring in that person. So if someone comes with like, when I'm around chemicals, I can't deal with it. It makes me sick. So I automatically go with the liver, because the liver is dealing with an environmental toxin, and that's the manifestation of a liver issue is intolerance of certain chemicals, right?
Stay away. Your body's reacting.
But every one of us has to support our liver because of just the environment that we live in. And if you're on any kind of medication, your body has to deal with that.
Right, because it's filtering that through.
It's filtering that, and there's several steps. There's phase 1 and phase 2 detox of the liver. I don't know how detailed you want to get, but essentially,
you lost me at hi. My name is Sarah.
If you're getting a good diet, if you're eating half fruits and vegetables in your diet, mostly organic if you can, you're giving the liver what it needs to do its job.
Okay.
Right, to help flush
You
things,
really
to help
are.
move things through.
We're talking minerals, B vitamins. What else is really important? Cruciferous vegetables are excellent.
Love it.
They're going to help. The major antioxidant in the liver is called glutathione.
Okay.
And glutathione is something that we make, but we have to take in foods that either our body can make glutathione with.
Right.
Glutathione stores tend to be decreased in certain modern disease states. Alzheimer's, we look for markers like homocysteine in the blood. That can be an indication of heart disease. That's, we want to help the liver do its job in that way. So, I mean, there's so many layers.
You get amped about
I
this,
do.
don't you?
I love talking
Well,
about
but
I like that.
it's a lot more. It's a lot more than just one-off.
Now,
you know?
now, I've got one of those on the side door of my fridge. I've got one of those pure water jugs with the water filter in it. So you tap water, you run it through, it filters it. The water takes minerals, bad stuff up. How do I clean my liver? See, I can take the filter out of this thing, throw it out, and put in a clean filter in. How can I do it for the liver?
The liver does it on its own.
Okay.
All right. So there's this thing the liver makes called bile. Right?
Yes,
Bile
yes.
is a byproduct, and it's also removing fat-soluble toxins out through your digestive system and down through your large.
Well, if it can do it on its own, how come alcohol then affects the liver in such a negative way? And I also heard that if you don't drink for a month, that your liver will totally be restored from just 1 month of not drinking.
I don't know if it's exactly a month. It depends on your toxic
I mean,
load
I can do
for
it
that
quicker
person.
than that, 28 days.
What? So
You're
your
on
market,
vacation soon,
your market
right? What are we doing
February, is
now?
that what it is?
All right, you can still drink. No. So the deal with alcohol is that our body has an enzyme in it that we can break down the ethyl alcohol, but over a certain amount, we can't. That does damage the liver. But it doesn't mean that it damages it beyond repair. The liver is a regenerative organ. So your hepatocytes, which are your little teeny cells in your liver, regenerate every 5 months. So in essence, you have a new liver every 5 months.
Okay.
Wow.
Right? And so it's a filter, but the bile is what moves all the toxins out and moves it out of your body.
Wow.
So it's a self-cleaning organ.
But you
We just
have to support it. You
Give
have
it
to
the
support
things
it.
that it needs to support it.
With
So
the broccoli and the blueberries. And,
the sleep,
and
the
sleep.
blueberries. Thank you for mentioning
That's
blueberries.
right.
That's
Oh, yeah.
our
Great antioxidant,
superfood.
yeah.
And was
Yeah,
citrus another
Citrus is lovely for liver detox. Yes. Yeah. Lots of different fruits and vegetables have different effects. They're antioxidants. Anything with antioxidants is going to help the liver. Anything with minerals. Then we can't forget B vitamins.
Yeah.
But then we got to, look at what medications you're on. And sometimes those medications can deplete these things. So sometimes supplementation is really a good idea.
So
Necessary.
we're just
right.
removing toxins. Does that help? Or is it, and then because that's what I always thought, just cut out the toxins so your liver doesn't have to work so hard, so go organic. But you're saying
Absolutely.
actually it's not just eliminating toxins, it's actually eating things that will support.
Right. So yes,
addition.
it's always good if you want to support this organ. It's good to reduce your environmental or your toxic load.
Right. That will
Absolutely.
definitely help.
Yeah. So it's what you breathe and what you're ingesting, right? And what you're taking in through your skin.
Right.
So a lot of people don't realize your skin is the biggest organ. The liver is the second biggest organ. The skin takes in all the toxins, right,
Yeah,
that you're putting on your body. We're talking lotions and perfumes and
all of
all
that.
these things that are like non-point sources for pollution in the rivers, right? I mean, we look at it that way too. But, your liver has to deal with all that stuff. So reducing the environmental toxin load is huge.
And does more water intake help the flushing process?
Good question.
Is it a good question? It's always good. It is a good question. It's always good to keep hydrated.
Yes.
It's always good, but that's going to really, to me, I mean, I'm sure it supports the liver because it's going to help the blood keep a good balance of water in the blood. You're not going to get too sticky blood if you're hydrated. But water is really about the kidneys. I mean, the kidneys need water to stay flushed and stay, keeping those toxins.
If the
getting
liver's
out there.
working overtime because we're treating it badly, does that make the other organs work overtime as well?
Yeah, it stresses the whole body.
It does.
Because what happens if the liver can't deal with a toxin, it sends it back into the blood and it recirculates through the body.
And then has to do it again.
And it has
then
to do it
kicks
again.
back out.
And
Okay.
to even add another layer to that, if your microbiome, if your gut bacteria isn't diverse enough and isn't healthy, you can have these what I call unwanted bacteria in your gut tag toxins that the liver's already tagged to get rid of the next time around. It will remove those tags. Right? So liver and gut health
So
are
it's working
so
against my body.
Yeah.
the bad bacteria.
Yeah.
is-
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is important to get fiber. Fiber feeds good bacteria.
Yep.
Fiber also helps the bile get rid of toxins. So fiber.
Fiber's
So
key.
sleep, reduce environmental toxins, get half fruits and vegetables a day. These are the things that, you want to. And good fiber,
And good
which
fiber.
is part of that fruit and vegetable.
Get
piece.
healthy, clean fruits and vegetables every day at the Concord Food Co-op.
Thank you.
That's what you forgot to do. You gotta-
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to help you here, Sarah. That's all right.
Concord Food Co-op has all these things
There you
that
go.
I
we
know.
need for our liver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, again, but it's great that we're talking about it because you don't think about this in the normal span of a day. It's not part of my normal.
Okay, you maybe, but not me.
And that's good.
kidding.
And that's good.
98% of the people out
I
there
think of
don't,
my liver
Sarah.
all the
Yeah,
time.
well, I
See,
know you do.
that's
It's gotta be
a
magic
good
came married to
thing.
you. Let's talk about my liver.
Can you see changes? Like, through your skin, do you find that if you are detoxifying that there's
Oh my God,
visible
yeah.
changes versus just how you feel?
Yeah, so I look at people and I can see liver issues in their eyes. I can see it on their tongue. I can
Now,
see
why?
it.
How in the eyes?
Well, your eyes get kind of blurry and glazy if you're livery. Like I can
Really?
tell if you
Wow.
had a few more drinks the night before.
Then wow.
I can see things. Most people don't see.
You don't work for the police, do you?
No,
Not yet. Not yet.
no,
That's
God,
what I'm
no.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's talk. But it's glassy, really.
glassy. Yep.
And,
And then
that-
of
and that's
course,
a liver function.
yeah, yep.
Wow.
Yep, and I can also see kidney stuff in the eyes too, but there's indications. And so if
You're scaring me,
someone
Sarah.
comes in and is like, oh, I can tell that their livers have an issue, which most people's livers do. If they're doing some nice hepatic herbs, that's what we call liver herbs or hepatic herbs. There's several functions that, actions that these herbs have. Milk thistle's one that a lot of us have heard of. Milk thistle's amazing to help protects the liver, regenerates the liver, and helps increase enzymatic action in the liver to detoxify. So it is
nice.
an amazing seed that everyone should just be putting it in their pepper grinder and putting
Milk
it on
thistle?
their food.
Milk thistle?
Milk thistle.
Milk
and
thistle.
I tend to mix it with a little black pepper just because I like, if I'm going to get a little pepper on my food, I get a little milk
What's
thistle on
bad
my
food?
What's
For-
bad food?
For my liver.
Sugar, stuff high
Yeah,
in sugar.
Sugar.
Because your liver stores fructose, which is part of the sugar molecule, right? There's your fatty liver.
Yeah.
But alcohol can cause that too.
Well,
But like lots of
Processed
processed
food
foods,
and that
things
kind
that,
of
that
stuff.
have lots of ingredients,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that you don't even know how to pronounce.
I know.
Keep it whole, keep it real. Keep
Wow.
it real, Peter.
Thank you for dumbing it down. No, but we don't know. So
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what,
happy to tell you
Thank you.
anything you want.
Yeah, you get amped up about this. I like that.
I do.
So-
I get
so-
The three of us are
excited.
just sitting here watching her going, yep, she's gone.
Yeah.
This is good. No,
There
but
she
it's
goes.
good. Oh, wait.
So did you say it's a milk thistle seed?
Milk
Milk
thistle.
thistle.
Thistle, and
Thistle.
so the plant is milk thistle, and it's the seed of it. So where's
It's
that
a type
from?
of thistle.
Where's that
well,
from?
you could grow it around here.
That's not milkweed.
It is not milk.
No, okay,
it's a different
milk
animal.
thistle.
Okay.
That's a whole different
Okay,
plant.
just wanted to make sure.
That's a whole
Okay.
different. Yeah,
All right.
that's a lung plant actually.
Oh, okay.
But milk thistle is in the thistle family, and we've seen thistles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those are the little pokey things
Right,
that are
right.
on the sides of the road a lot. There's the bull thistle, but milk thistle is a little bit different in that the leaf has a variegated white up the center. It looks like milk. You know, whatever. You know, however they name these things.
And that seed is this miracle thing.
It is, and there's a lot of other herbs that
That's
are great
cool.
for the liver. It is. It is cool.
Is it okay to take those as a supplement? And like if people aren't able to sprinkle it on their food, like I know you can get milk thistle in a capsule. Is that, and some supplements are better, or maybe all are better to actually eat as part of your food. But if I have to take a capsule because that's just easy with milk thistle, is that
You
going
can-
to do the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, you always want to know where you're getting your supplements, how old they are. Once they're powdered, they lose a lot of their efficacy. So
Sure,
I tend
sure.
to want to buy it whole and then powder it myself, but I understand that that's not always feasible for people. Then there's milk thistle extracts that you can do. But there's lots of other herbs that are wonderful
But
for
it's
the
part
liver.
of a balanced life.
It really is.
Okay, so you can't, like some people, hey, I'm having a tub of chicken, but Diet Coke.
Awful.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I know,
understand
I
that. But they'll sit
Dump
there
the
and say,
soda.
I'm going to eat all of this, but I'm going to take a diet pill. Okay, this is not the magic
That's
bullet.
not balance.
So you can't treat your body like an amusement park.
Right,
And I'm
correct.
going to have milk thistle seed, going to make it all better while I'm treating my body badly.
Oh, I mean,
I'm just saying I don't
right.
want to people say, okay, I can still do all the stuff, but I'll take this. Yay. No, it doesn't work
it
that way.
doesn't work that way.
All right.
It really doesn't, you know, and that's the biggest barrier I think to natural forms of health. I mean, it takes a little bit more work. It does take
Yeah.
having to change your diet,
I know.
which a lot of people don't want
What are
to.
you a
Sugar,
junk?
I know.
What are you a junk food junkie for? What
chocolate.
Really?
I love
Okay.
chocolate.
All right, but chocolate's like good for you in
If-
some
if-
cases.
If you
It
look
can
at it
be.
in the right
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
yeah,
it can
right.
be, yeah.
Dark, the dark
chocolate,
chocolate's
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But that would probably be. And I like French fries.
Oh, okay.
Really?
love
That's
French
okay.
Do you
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, but I don't have them every day.
I was going to say
Right,
moderation.
right.
But
It-
moderation,
it-
we talk about that.
The whole
Yeah.
the whole package.
Yeah, I
Look
love
at the
that.
whole
Balance.
package. Yeah.
I love good
Can we
fries.
talk about other herbs that are good for the liver too?
I don't know. Ask him.
You know,
ask her.
Do you have
Ask-
time?
Well,
Do we have
Leslie,
time?
let's discuss this. What do you think?
Well, I think
Yeah,
that would probably be a
let's
good
go ahead.
idea.
Let's go
Okay,
ahead. Let's
great.
go
Okay,
ahead.
Since I've
now wait a
asked
minute.
the topic.
Hold it. Hang on. We got to take a break.
Let's take a break and then we'll come back.
because
We
you
will
know
have
Sarah,
time. We
she'll-
will have time.
Oh, she'll be
We'll have
gone.
time.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome on back. Greg and Sarah and Leslie in the house, or Leslie, Greg, and Sarah in the house. Sorry. Well, you're only on once. I mean, so we got to make it good.
Thanks.
Talking about the liver, you said something when we were in the commercial break. Is the liver impacted by genetics?
Yeah,
It is.
I believe
So
it
not
is.
everybody's liver is created equally. I mean,
That's exactly right. There's
Okay.
about, I don't know, what is it, 40% of the population have this variant, the MTHR variant, that reduces the body's ability to methylate and to
and
detoxify.
where does that come from? You just oof, you get it?
Now that's a genetics question.
That
So
is
it's a
okay,
DNA.
okay.
So
Okay,
that
yeah.
is just some
Okay.
kind of variant, that mutation that maybe this certain subset of the population didn't need.
Can you compensate for
methylation
that
as much?
with herbs?
You can with supplementation and with herbs, but it's hard to change DNA. Now, if we're talking epigenetics, our genes change with our environmental toxin load. Genes can change. The variant isn't necessarily that, but you can change your DNA by having an environmental toxin.
Okay.
Change that genetic.
Wow.
Yeah, genetic imprint, and then things metabolically and physiologically, things will change because of that. So again, we're back to reduce your environmental toxin load.
So I know having blood work done, they'll test your liver functionality and give you a report. And is that really the only way you can really tell? I mean, you're saying you can look into somebody's eyes and have a good sense of, but how are the ways that people will know that or be able to find out how well their liver is functioning?
You could do a liver panel and see what enzymes are, what's happening in there. There's certain markers that you can tell if the liver is stressed, but most of the time the diagnostics aren't sensitive enough to, I mean, there's the people that are dealing with liver stress, it would never come out in a test.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
So then we look at, what's manifesting on a physical level. You have brain fog all the time.
Yeah.
You have gut issues, that's going to stress the liver because whatever goes through the gut, we're talking hyperpermeability or leaky gut syndrome.
Sure.
Your liver has to clean that up. So
I know.
you got undigested food, you got all the stuff.
The liver never stops working.
And then I wanted to point out too that, when you're going through puberty, it's, with all the acne.
She's looking at you.
Yeah, I know. I'm still going through it.
Not specific.
I'm waiting for my voice to change.
Yeah, so are we.
Because your body has to deal with all those steroids too. Then there's just the waste of the body that your liver has to deal with.
I know. Again, it just functions all the time.
All the time.
And you got to take care of it.
So liver herbs.
Okay, but in addition to the milk thistle.
Yeah, milk thistle is number one.
Sleep,
veggies, fruits, all that jazz. Herbs, interventions would be, milk thistle would be high on the list. Turmeric helps both phases
I love it.
of detox. Yep. Reducing your smoke too, burning things reduces the first phase of detox. Okay. So burdock root, dandelion root, there's something called berber, bupleurum. All these have different effects on the liver in a wonderful way. Things like hibiscus have a nice effect on the liver. Anything sour has a nice effect. So we're talking taste. Bitter, leafy greens. Do your bitters before meals, not necessarily in an old-fashioned
Right.
drink.
Yes. Very good. Thank you.
Sorry, Peter.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that.
But
that's how I get my bitters. No.
Yeah, there's my bitters. But that's why a lot of times they drank bitter alcoholic drinks before meals.
Right.
Because
Correct.
We're very good at what we do.
Yeah.
Why do I always feel dumber than a sack of hammers?
Well,
when she gets here, I'm
because
like,
we bring the right
oh, man.
people in. The right people come
She
in with the
knows
Concord
stuff.
Food Co-op.
We just sit back going, wow.
And
I
don't
don't
you
mean
ever
to
don't you
No,
ever be
it's
sorry.
good.
It is
We're
good.
like, okay, that's really, and if we, wow.
Well, I'm so glad we filmed this, and then it airs on your NH1.
Absolutely.
Because when I get to look at it again, I get to hear all the things that I missed.
Missed
or
because it was
I
flying
can slow
by.
it down and say,
Like
what exactly
Leslie,
did she
like
say?
Leslie talking.
Yeah.
And please don't ever hesitate to reach out if you have other questions. But I also want to point out, we talked about mushrooms earlier.
Yes.
Your liver, your hepatocytes have immune cells in them too.
Nice.
Mushrooms.
Love
They
shrooms.
can get out even cancerous tumor cells in your liver. They go through your blood, cleanse your blood, bacteria, viruses.
You can get those in tea. Like I drink a reishi tea.
Yes.
You don't have to eat the mushrooms if you don't like them.
Oh, I
Sarah,
love it.
Yeah.
Greg, thank you.
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Bring Leslie back. She's
Yes.
just such a great sidekick.
Yeah.
Just such an asset to the show. We got to bring her back. Thank you very much, all of you.
If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.